afternoon. Let's see the highlights of the news of the day. Hundreds of migrants who have been camped on the Turkish side of the border with Greece at Evros since February attempted to storm the country's territory early on Wednesday. The incident took place between 2:30 and 4 a.m. when a group of at least 300 migrants tried to force their way into Greece and through the border fence near the Kastanis crossing. Greek police, who eventually pushed them back into Turkey, say that the attempt was coordinated by Turkish security forces, who even threw tear gas at them. Members of the European Union Frontex force assisted in the operation to secure the Greek-EU border, which has been under pressure since February 28, when the President Erdogan announced that his government would no longer prevent refugees and migrants from trying to reach the European Union. The incident was the first and most serious after the relative calm of the last 10 days. Hundreds of police officers from across the European Union are now in full operation guarding the EU frontier in a loud and clear manifestation of active European solidarity. The Greek army has deployed special vehicles equipped with massive turbines, which create strong currents of wind in order to stop the spread of tear gas thrown from the Turkish to the European side. Municipal and state police officers have been thrown into the effort to convince hundreds of contrary residents in the northern port city of Thessaloniki to abide by health regulations, calling the self-isolation amid the coronavirus epidemic. Officers from Thessaloniki Municipal Police, the Greek Police Hellas, and the Dias Motorcycle Squad have been on patrol since Tuesday evening along the city's popular waterfront promenade, where hundreds of Thessalonians have been walking, jogging, and hanging out since the last weekend, despite repeated government pleas for citizens to stay indoors and avoid gatherings in large numbers. The officers have been ordered to advise citizens to return home, stressing the risks of their behavior to themselves and others. Thessalonians have also been flouting the municipality's closure of open-air sports facilities like basketball, volleyball courts, gathering in groups to play and get some exercise. The Athens Macedonian news agency reported, adding that the police crackdown has been extended to these areas as well. Between the announcement of the first coronavirus case in Cyprus on March the 9th and March the 17th, a domestic violence helpline has seen calls rise by 30%, the Association of the Prevention of Domestic Violence said. They said that there has been 750 calls to the 1440 helpline, including 5 requests to be moved to a shelter. It has been determined that isolation as a measure to prevent and tackle the spread of COVID-19 can at the same time be a tool in the hands of the perpetrators to increase the frequency, intensity, and danger against women and children. On top of the quarantine, the potential loss of jobs and the fact that traditionally women are expected to look after the children at home further aggravates their social isolation. Children were also victimized and are dangerously exposed to domestic violence incidents since they too are confined inside the house with the abuser. The association said its helpline will continue to operate around the clock and individual appointments will be set if they were necessary. Two suspects, one a convict, were on Wednesday referred to the Larnaca Criminal Court for trial in connection with two gangland-related murder attempts, one in Larnaca last year and one in Ayia Napa in February. The pair, 37 and 38, faced charges in connection with the attempted murder of 38-year-old Konstantinos Haralambous on November 27th in Larnaca, who was shot in the parking lot of the building where he lived near the port at around 8:40 p.m. According to the police, Haralambous was parking his car when unknown individuals shot at him 7 times. He was injured in the neck, chin, the right knee, left arm, and chest. The second case concerns the attempt against Ayia Napa businessman Kostas Kritikos, in which 4 innocent bystanders were injured. Police said the 38-year-old Haralambous Chrysanthou, also known as Hamburger, is suspected firing 25 rounds with an automatic into a cafe, injuring 4 people who had no relation with his intended target. Kritikos had left the establishment earlier. The second suspect, Dimitris Mamalikopoulos, is already serving 5 life sentences in the central prison for murdering 5 people in Ayia Napa on June 23, 2012. Hamburger is also suspected of firing the shots against Haralambous. Both cases are related to the underworld. Mamalikopoulos is suspected of conspiring to murder, attempted murder, and firearms offenses in relation with the case. Mamalikopoulos will appear before the criminal court on May 11th and Chrysanthou a day later. Chrysanthou will remain in custody until then. Reactions mounted in Turkey after the daughter of the chief of civil aviation in North Cyprus attempted, with the help of Turkish police, to escape from a bus transferring arrivals from abroad to quarantine premises. According to the Cyprus News Agency, on Wednesday, the daughter of the chief of civil aviation in North Cyprus had flown from France to Turkey, where she was due to spend 14 days in quarantine as per her coronavirus protection measures adopted by Turkey. Footage captured by a person also on the bus that would transfer the arrivals to quarantine premises showed the girl attempting to make a run for it with the help of Turkish police. The footage, uploaded to social media, caused a wave of reactions across Turkey, with one Turkish state prosecutor based in Istanbul launching a probe into the matter. Commenting on the escaped attempt, Turkish Interior Minister Süleyman Soylu said the girl will remain in quarantine for 14 days before being allowed to travel north of Cyprus. This is an unacceptable violation, Soylu said. No one is granted privileges. Late on Tuesday night, Turkish Cypriot media reported that 13 more people had been infected with coronavirus, all of which were part of a group of some 30 tourists who had flown to the north from Germany's Balingen. All 13 had already been placed in quarantine at the locked-down Salamis Bay Conti Hotel in North Famagusta. The new cases raised the total confirmed cases in the north to 20, including 18 German tourists and 2 Turkish Cypriots who had traveled to the UK. The condition of all confirmed cases has been deemed not threatening. As of Saturday, for 2 weeks, flights to the Larnaca and Paphos airport from 28 countries will be banned, Health Minister Konstantinos Ioannou announced on Tuesday night, noting that the stricter measure does not affect cargo. Additionally, after tension arose in reaction to the government's previous measure announced on March 15, which required all arrivals to Cyprus airports to present a valid health certificate showing they are clear of coronavirus, with those not holding a certificate in danger of being sent back, Ioannou said that expectation to these obligations will be made until March 21, when the new measure is set to be implemented. Speaking after an interministerial meeting held in the presidential palace on Tuesday, chaired by President Nikos Anastasiades, the Minister of Health said that starting from 3 a.m. local time on March 2, all flights to Larnaca and Paphos airports, excluding cargo carrying flights, will be banned from the following countries: Bahrain, Belarus, Belgium, Bulgaria, Egypt, Estonia, Hungary, Germany, Ireland, Israel, Jordan, Latvia, Lebanon, Lithuania, Malta, Netherlands, Norway, Poland, Qatar, Romania, Russia, Serbia, Slovakia, Sweden, Switzerland, Ukraine, United Kingdom, and Greece. European Union leaders agreed on Tuesday to close Europe's borders for 30 days to prevent the spread of coronavirus, but establish fast-track lanes at their countries' frontiers to keep goods moving, bloc leaders said after a video conference summit. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen told a news conference that it would be up to European countries to implement the closure of their borders to citizens from third countries. The Paphos General Hospital, where 12 had been infected with coronavirus, remained shut on Wednesday as samples continued to be taken from some 680 hospital staff to be sent for testing. The 12 confirmed cases involved 10 hospital staff, including 1 ICU doctor, 8 ICU nurses, and 1 cleaner, and 2 elderly patients aged 65 and 70. The first confirmed case was the 65-year-old UK national that was hospitalized at the Paphos General ICU and who appears to have then infected 11 others. The 70-year-old patient that caught the virus while being treated at the Paphos General ICU was transferred on Tuesday afternoon to the Famagusta General Hospital, which has been designated as the hospital to deal exclusively with COVID-19 cases. With just the accident and emergency department and the hemodialysis unit remaining operational in the Paphos General, samples continued to be taken from hospital staff who may have also been infected with the virus. A sum of 150 samples were taken on Monday and 120 on Tuesday, with sampling expected to continue all through Wednesday until all hospital staff, estimated at around 680 workers, are tested. As results from the samples taken from the Paphos General Hospital staff began showing negative results, a cautious optimism began to emerge that the virus has not spread further through the hospital workers. Though 3 more had tested positive for the virus on Tuesday, raising the total in the Republic of Cyprus to 49, none were samples taken from the Paphos General. The disinfection of the Paphos Hospital continued on Wednesday, with all patients in the pathological unit and in the ICU placed in isolation.